Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games and a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2017. It's week 31 of competition. We are just about to head into the season, first week of the season. We've got to review our roster and depth chart and then go over recruiting before we can get into that first game. So looking at the ratings for the first time, Ryan Driver, the transfer, is ineligible this year, and I have nothing on him apparently until next year. I have my walk-ons, and then from there, this is everybody else. So you can see that there is high potential throughout the squad. Everybody is 3 stars or better, potential-wise. But in terms of quality, it's down a little bit this year, with just Erskine and Hazelton at 3 stars, Adam Scales 2.5, and then a plethora of guys at 2 stars or 1.5 stars. So looking at the depth chart as we finalize this before going into the season. Starting from Dixon on up. Let's see, these are my 2 walk-ons. Take you off the point guard list. Bump you down. To 95s. And I've got a 10-man rotation for the year. So from Hanson on up. And I have the mix of Gaines and Davis here. You can see that everybody else is already set. So Scales, starting center. Feltz at power forward. Kerry Williams at small forward. And then Erskine and Hazelton splitting the duties at point guard and shooting guard. Now in terms of rotation, Hansen set for 4 minutes, Williams set for 20, Feltz set for 24, Tahid is going to get 20 minutes this year, Erskine bringing in 32 a game, as well as Scales, Hazelton at 30 a game, Gaines getting 8 minutes, Davis getting 10, Ash getting 20, so he's splitting with Kerry Williams 50-50, as they have the same rating. Myers not getting in, Dixon not getting in, and Driver not getting in. Alright, so looking at recruiting so we can get the season underway, I have signed 2 players. They don't have the greatest ranks, but they were the positions I was lacking. What I'm really going for is a small forward. That's the one that I really need. That's the one that I'm really pushing on, and I have not been able to get a small forward yet. I've been stuck with the same 2 small forwards for 3 seasons now, and neither of them have been high quality or really developed terribly well. I desperately need a small forward. The other position I need still is center. But Seitz and Jones have signed on, and I've already done my recruiting for this week. But we're looking at this group of players, and I have offers in on Vines, which we just put that offer in. We are not on his list yet, and Riley, where we are number 9, so we'll see how we progress on them. You can see that there's some basic interest for most of the players left, and then of course the ones a bit further down like us a bit more, but those ones a bit further down, those are the guys who've already signed on. But only a couple players left that do not show interest. You can see those that are at B's. Scythes is one of them. Jones is not. All right, let's head into the season. Let's get our first game going. So we are playing in Conference P this year. We have moved up steadily, and actually let's glance at that real quick. So team history, we're still at a D+ on the facilities. That's only been improved once. So year by year, I've tried to get that improved, but they don't want to go with it. We have strong academics. Conference prestige, we've gone from a conference prestige of 2 up to 17 as we've moved our way through, and a team prestige of nothing up to 14 now. Because of the high academics, we do have that minimum SAT score of 960, and I have had a few players throughout the seasons that did not qualify, and we ended up having to go on to recruit someone else. The school's all-time record had a short history before my arrival, probably 10 seasons worth, and they were strongly negative, but we've got the school history above 500 now. We've had 3 conference championships, 4 NCAA tournament bids. This last season we made the second round for the first time, and then 1 at each of the others, and 2 for the CIT. Budget for this year is really hurting. I did get a budget increase. So for the second time since starting the game, I've seen a budget increase. It's now at $137,000 per year, but most of that is being spent on coaches. So with a small recruiting budget, I'm kind of hurting on what I can do to bring in these last 2 guys. And a quick look at the team history. We were 26-6 this past year, and ranked number 18, so ranked for the first time ever, and made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament, March Madness tournament, and you can see that it's now been a decade of play, and we've gotten promoted for, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight years. We'll see if we can turn that into 7. All right, so Murray State is up first. We are in the non-conference part of our schedule, where we've traditionally done pretty well, despite the fact that most every team that we've played year after year has been ranked above us. But now that we are starting to climb our way up and we are no longer in the cellar, we do get a few of these non-conference games against teams in lower divisions. All right, so we're going to move quickly through this game. All right, so looking good so far as we are on a 7-point lead. We're slowly stretching it out here as we approach the midway point of the first half. It's 27-17, so we are bit by bit stretching this game out. Looking at some early stats, Hazelton already into double figures with 11. He's also got 4 rebounds and a couple of assists, so Hazelton's having a really good day. 4 of 6 shooting here in the first half. Maxie Davis also coming in with 12 points. Feltz finally getting a chance to prove himself for the team and doing pretty well. He's got 6 points, 5 boards. Adam Scales, who has had a lot of time over the last couple seasons, but finally a starter, also doing quite well. He's in double figures, and I believe he had 7 boards there. As we're at the midpoint second half, we're actually not up by much. It's only a 10-point lead, give or take, down to 7 as they keep closing it. So gotta take things a little carefully here, and we just fell behind. Trailed by 1. We just used our last time out. There's only a minute and a half left. We had a massive lead and then went cold, and we lose our opener 80-77 for a game that looked very, very comfortable. It very quickly turned. We out-rebounded them 40-27. We had 15 turnovers, so we did not protect the ball well at all. They were great from the stripe. We gave them a lot of charity, and that was really the difference right there, but we weren't bad ourselves. Wow, looking at the stats, we should have hammered them. Looking at the game score, throughout, we were up by a massive margin till pretty late, and I burned every single time out in that stretch to try to get the team refocused, even though I kept the game speed up. So, horrible start to the season. We only had 2 steals, so that didn't help. Turnovers must have been it, because we shot the ball better. The free throws and turnovers. Yikes. So we drop our first game after a massive halftime lead, a massive lead halfway through the second half, and then all of a sudden we went cold. First game of the season, it does happen. Oh, and an injured player to boot. Are you kidding me? Oh, terrible start to the year. Who is it? Let's look at the roster and see. Are you kidding me? Wow. It looked like 3 there for a moment, but Ryan Driver is a transfer. That's not an injury. But I picked up 2 injuries in that game. Maxie Davis and Gerard Ash. Davis was on fire in that game. So there you go. Apparently they hammered the crap out of us to win that season opener. At least they are backup players, but Maxie Davis obviously contributed heavily in that game before going down to injury. So in the back of my mind, I actually had hopes of getting ranked again this season, possibly being ranked a little bit earlier in the year. Those hopes are quickly fading. We do win our second game. I didn't even notice who it was. I was still dumbfounded as to what happened, but we do level our record at 1-1 after the first week of the season. Next up will be Mississippi on the road.
You have new mail.
And Teddy Hazelton and Adam Scales are the standout performers of the first week. Okay, and let's go ahead and jump into scouting now. Again, I am down to a pretty small budget here for the remainder of the season, so I'm going to have to be really careful. Even the watch films, I might have to save. Scouting lives, probably not going to be doing any more of that the rest of the year. I still will host or visit recruits, though. So I've got to get these last couple positions filled out. Okay, watch film on these top guys. This film really doesn't cost me a whole lot. It's a couple $100 to use them all. Let's check out this Grizzard guy as he is a B. Alright, now call list. So here's where we're at. Now I have that full pitch category evaluation on pretty much every player. You can see we're not showing up pretty much on anyone's list. There's one that I don't have much information on. There we go, that gets the rest of it. I do have Paul Floyd still on the list. He is a power forward and higher ranked than Brandon Jones is now, though Brandon Jones was higher ranked at the beginning of the recruiting season. Okay, Hathaway is one player I haven't made progress with. There's one thing left here. Okay, out of time on this week. So I'm going to get back into the season. And we'll sim through those two games. Okay, we got the win there. Next up, we actually have a ranked team, Oleon. Ranked number 23. So this is actually only the second time that I am going up against a ranked opponent, and we have yet another injured player in this one. What is going on here? Oh no, no. Okay, now this is devastating. This could be a really rough season, the way things have gone so far. So Ash is down to 2 weeks. He's at 67%. He's supposed to get 20 minutes a game. Adam Scales is supposed to be getting 30 a game, and he's got a broken foot. And at 12% for 45 days, he's going to miss a month and a half. I mean, it's going to be January before we get him back. He's going to miss the entire non-conference schedule. And the first part of the conference schedule from here. That is really rough. Tahid's going to be picking up a lot of time. Hansen's going to be picking up a lot of time. And actually, Hansen's the only center I have now. I'm going to need Tahid able to play center. Let's see, 6'7", 213. Tahid is 6'6", 212. And Hansen, 6'8", 198. So Hansen definitely better for that. Feltz is going to need to be here. Let's see, stat-wise, how we're looking. Hansen's getting 11.3 per game, so at least he's playing well, scoring-wise. But he's only grabbing 3 rebounds a game. My 10-man rotation is suddenly down to 8 at the moment. Okay, we are at home for that Oleon game. Suppose I could stop the simulation. Let's see. Let's watch that game. Let's see how a struggling team with limited depth does against the 3-0, number 23 ranked team in the country. Really? You've got Scales. How? If he's at 12%, how is he even on there? Okay, he was subbed out almost immediately. Probably not going to be back in, so Tahid is in there in his place at the moment. Now Hansen is in there. Meanwhile, the team gets off to a flying start as we took a massive run to start the game, and we're up 17-10. 21-13 at this point, midway point first half, so we're actually off to a fantastic start. Kerry Williams has 6 points. Hazelton has 8 now, as he just made a 3. 10 now, so he's doing really well. 4 of 5 shooting early on. Erskine also adding 7 points. Kerry Williams now up to 9. So really, really strong performance there. But what can I get out of that center position? Gerard Phelps has 5 assists. Hansen is 1 of 5 shooting right now. 2 of 6 finally. He finally got a second one, but he is struggling. We do have a very large lead here at the midway point of the second half. We're up 20, 68-48. Team is shooting lights out. Looking at the stats, we are plus 10 on rebounds. We are plus 4 on turnovers. We are shooting 60% from the field. And 50% from beyond the arc. Better than 50%, 10 of 19 now. So we are just outclassing them in every way. We're up by over 30 points as the game rounds out. They close it to just under that mark, but it's 93-65 final. Teddy Hazelton exploded for 25 and 12 with the double-double, 11 of 15 shooting. Even Lewis Myers got into the game there at the end. And Adam Scales came in and played a couple minutes at the end of the game. Wow. All right, so we go to 3-1. Just as things were looking dire, now they're looking up. Okay, Missouri State on the road, but they are 0-2. Hopefully we can pull that one off. It'll be at the beginning of next week.
You have new mail.
All right, so with 2 players still yet to go, we're going to be spending a lot of time looking at recruiting here. Riley, we're still number 9 on his list, and Vines, we are still not present on his list. So some pretty bad news there. Now Floyd, we are starting to pick up some momentum with him. We're up to double plus on the interest and up to 7th. Whether he's better than Brandon Jones or not, I couldn't say. He's ranked considerably higher. But I'd have to compare the two a little more head-to-head, and last time I had checked, Brandon Jones was slightly better than Floyd. Okay, so Grizzard has dropped. He is just a C on his grade now. He's also low GPA. Might be letting that one go. All right, Alright, so let's watch film on this kind of next tier of guys. Go down to there. And maybe a little further. Let's get these guys in here. Hall. I'll get a review of my guys. We just looked at him. There's Jones. Okay, that's a look at pretty much everybody I want to see. It's evaluation period, so until we get into another period, I don't think we're going to get too far with too many of these guys, but let's check our call list. Let's see, who's that? Tafflinger. We're up to 6th on his list, so we are climbing somewhere. There we go, we just broke through on Hathaway. And now that he wants to talk to us after we've called him week after week, we get all the information we needed. Look at that location and academics. And he is from right across the river. Battleground Washington is right next to Portland, Oregon. Parents went to Eastern Washington. This is somebody we could definitely recruit. But his rankings, look at that. It's gone up a lot. Okay, I've got no information on the parents. There we go. Okay, we're number 3 on this guy's list. But how far down are we now? We're getting pretty far down there. There are recruitable players. But can I get to the players that I want? Is the big question. Okay, we got through to this guy as well, so there's a good start. Ran out of time, but we are through to him. So that's all the way down to here now, so we've just about got everybody fully unlocked. Okay, next up, Missouri State on the road. They are 0-3 though. Okay, we do get the win there. We go to 4-1. We're on the road again at Stephen F. Austin. Considering we lost that first game, we've got a pretty nice RPI at the moment. Already number 60. We only had the one game this week. Teddy Hazelton at 15.6 points per game. Oh, no, that was just the month changeover. Here's the game day. And we get the win there, so we go to 5-1. Pretty solid start to the season after that awful start and after the injuries that we've taken. We've got Stony Brook up next. That'll be early next week. They are 3-3, and we are at home for that one. So you'd like to think that we can keep the current win streak going.
You have
Feltz is now emerging with Scales out, grabbing 6 rebounds a game, 1.5 blocks a game. So I saw a lot of potential in him. It's good to see that he's finally starting to live up to that potential. At the moment, 6 games into the season, we are top 10 in the country in scoring. And outside of rebounding and steals, we are up there in quite a few categories. Defense needs some work, though. Okay, it looks like we're going to have Portland State coming up here fairly soon. And they are 0-6 right now. Alright, as we are just in an evaluation period, there's not much going on right now. Still 9th on Riley's list. Still not on Vines' list. Alright, here's Grizzard, who we left off with last time. And we've got him fully unlocked now. There's Jones. Location mattered to him. He's from Oregon. And we're out of time, but we're just about done getting everyone looked at. That is the last guy. He very much likes us, but his rank is terrible. But for someone who has a terrible rank outside of rebounding, he's got some decent attributes. That's why he's still on the list. That's the diamond in the rough player. Alright, get the win there. We go to 6-1. Now we have North Florida, who's 0-6, and we're at home. That should be an easy win. See, our RPI is actually dropping playing against these lower ranked teams all of a sudden. At the end of this week, I have every intention of checking in on our injury report real quick. And we do go to 7-1. Next up is Portland State on the road. That'll be next week's game. And as it's the rivalry game, it might be the only game of the week. Portland State did finally pick up their first win. And it is a road game. And it is a rivalry game. So as bad as they are, and the fact that they are a division below us now, doesn't mean that we're automatically going to win. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the injury report first. It's down to just Adam Scales. He's still at only 12%. And it's still for nearly a month. So he's going to be just getting those couple of minutes. Really shouldn't be playing at all, but apparently by default they're allowing him to play a couple minutes. Could probably affect that. Looks like Taflinger, we've started to move up. His interest has increased. Riley, it's decreased. He's down to 10th now. It's still just an evaluation period. We're not on Thompson's or Hobbs' list or Vine's list. So really, really not looking good in those areas. Floyd, we're at 7th. Taflinger, we're still 6th. Hathaway, not on his list. Stowers is 9th. Or Stowers. Ward is 5th. That's kind of the first one where we're really starting to show. Ward and Hess with their ranks. Ward actually is triple plus, but they're both C's. Here's Hall, who I have as a B, and 4th. So this could be a target for us. We're looking across here. Besides free throw shooting and stealing, he's got some really solid abilities. I'm going to go ahead and spend the money to scout him live and watch some film on him this week. as he could be my target. And apparently Sights has dropped from a C to a B. That's no good. Watch Jones again. Okay. We're going to do that last call on Miller. Try to finish getting him unlocked, so I'll have everybody. And that's everybody now. All right, Portland State matchup this week. And we get the win there. We go to 8-1, so we finally get a win on the road at Portland State. That's been one difficult place to play, but I think we finally had just such a major advantage over them that it finally paid off. Next up is Southern. It's going to be next week. They are just 2-6, and we're at home. So suddenly the schedule is looking favorable. Phelps and Tahid are the ones that have been stepping up, and Hazleton is getting better and better. Game by game, he's up to 17 points per game and our leading assist man. So the offense is definitely running through Hazleton this year. Conference H, that's quite a bit higher. They're 5-5. Southern is Conference O. Okay, still just an evaluation period. Riley, we're still at number 10, but it's definitely not looking too good. Halfinger is tempting. It's very tempting to switch over to him. Screen, pass. His handling's better, but he's not as strong of an inside shooter, but he's a great outside shooter. And his defense is better. And rebounding. He's more athletic. So I might switch to Taflinger over Riley. I mean, we're not going anywhere. We're going backwards with him. So let's do that. Let's give it a shot. He is from California, which doesn't really give the location boost. And nothing else is terribly favorable besides facilities, so this is a kid that we don't have anything to give. I'm not going to take him off the list yet. We'll see if he suddenly goes away. If he does, then I'll take him off the list. Oh yeah, see, look, the interest is suddenly gone. He doesn't like us anymore. We were just like the fallback of the fallbacks. So we're going to go ahead and offer the scholarship to Taflinger. Go for someone that we might actually be able to get. He is from Mapleton, so he is a local kid. Playing time, location matter, so there you go with location. And the parents don't have much influence, but they care about location too, so let's go scout him live and watch some more film on him. And if things go well, we'll probably host him next week. Oh, there you go. Sights back to a B. So he's kind of right on that border between a B and a C. So not a great player, but should be a pretty solid player. Now that center position is going to be a real issue, but if we can make a breakthrough here with small forward, make life much easier going forward. All right, let's see here. Let's get through this week. We've got Southern. I think they might be the only game of the week, and that RPI continues to drop despite the wins that are coming due to that easy part of the schedule. 9-1 now. West New Orleans on the road, and they are probably 8 divisions above us, meaning this is going to be a pretty formidable challenge. Difficult game coming up, and it'll be in the first part of next week. We'll probably watch that game. That would definitely raise our RPI if we're able to get the win here.
You have new mail. You have new mail.
Tinox Conference P, Fort Wayne's Conference P. That's regular season coming up. Yes, it is. So we only have one more non-conference game. Yeah, there you go. RPI is 31 for this West New Orleans, even though they're 6-5. Two of those losses have been against top 10 teams. Alright, so Adam Scales is finally getting there. He's up to 54%. He's down to 12 days. He's definitely not going to be doing anything in this game, though. Alright, so we are gone from the list. Riley doesn't like us anymore. No surprise there. The really bad news is I go and switch things to Taflinger, and he drops to a C. His inside shooting actually got better. It was a C. Defense is good. I think one of these was a C. I think that was a B. So those are what dropped. But he's still pretty close to that border. So I don't think I mind the fact that we switched over. So let's jump in there, get a closer look. I think I'm going to be letting Riley go here as he's no longer interested in us. And I don't think he was really interested in the first place. He just liked having that scholarship offer there. Okay, and Vines is the same problem. He's up around the Seattle area, which is okay for location, and academics should be favoring us. And he's the highest ranked center. I'd love to get this kid signed on, but we don't seem to be getting anywhere with him. Okay, so Taflinger, we moved up one spot with the scholarship offer. So it did affect him, but not greatly. So I'll probably go scout him live again, watch more film on him. I'm not ready to host recruit just yet, as not quite enough interest to risk that. Here's one. Do I want to risk spending that money? We have so little left. Okay, watching Hathaway close. Hess is another one. We'll keep an eye on him as we're pretty high up on his list. Carville Hall. A lot of B's. He's just bad at stealing and free throws. Okay, we'll watch him. Alright, that's far enough down the list. Let's get back to it. Alright, this will be the last game of the episode. And then we'll be getting into the conference schedule with the start of the next episode. RPI is now at 78. We are well below West New Orleans. But we have a better record. As I didn't change the roster, the lineup, Scales would presumably get the start. And he is. He's at 65% now. So he starts and then immediately gets subbed out. Alright, early on, the game is tight. It's back and forth. We had the lead, they had the lead. And all of a sudden they're pulling away. They've scored 9 straight. There we go. I finally was able to use that timeout. Trying to do that for quite a while. Alright, so they went on a bit of a run there. We went cold, and that really hurt. They're picking up the momentum. We're down 18 as we approach halftime, so they are cruising on this one. Kerry Williams is our early standout, shooting 3 of 4 with 7 points. They're slaughtering us on rebounds, 26-13. And this is turning into a blowout. We're just shooting 30% from the field and not getting as many chances. So that definitely adds up to a real bad day at the office. But as our shooting percentage increases to 40%, we are getting back into this game. We're back within 10 with 8 minutes left to play. Hazelton, that standout again, 17 points. He's got 6 boards. And with just 2 minutes left to play, they did stretch that lead back out. It's out to 20 points. They are going to get the win, so 80-63. So we go 9-2 in the non-conference schedule this season. Well, that does it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe, and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.